Injuries have been a defining part of the Vikings 2024 season, but it hasn't just been their injuries. I'm Tyler Forness of A to Z Sports, and we know that the Vikings have been defined by injuries so far this season. They lost Kyrie Jackson to a tragic car accident in July, and just a few weeks later, in the same month, they lost cornerback Mekhi Blackmon to a torn ACL. After the first preseason game, they lost star rookie quarterback J.J. McCarthy, who they selected 10th overall in the 2024 NFL draft. Not exactly a good way to start the year for any franchise, but that didn't deter them as they went into New York and MetLife Stadium, beat the Giants by a score of 28-6, but they did lose Jordan Addison. Now they're already without TJ Hawkinson, who's still recovering from a torn ACL, and Addison sprained his ankle. Now you may be thinking that, hey, he re-sprained the same ankle that he hurt against the Cleveland Browns and joint practices. Well, unfortunately, he injured the other ankle, so now he has two issues of stability in his legs, and he can't really rely on either side to be completely stable at this point. Is it best to hold him out? Probably, but we'll see how he responds to treatment, because it could just be a mild low ankle sprain, and then that's really not as big of a deal. If it's a high ankle sprain, that's a significant amount of time, and we've seen that time and time again. But what's really interesting about the Vikings' injuries isn't the Vikings themselves. It's their opponents. San Francisco 49ers are coming to US Bank Stadium this upcoming Sunday, and they could be without one of their biggest stars in Christian McCaffrey. McCaffrey missed Monday night's game against the New York Jets with calf and Achilles soreness. We don't really know the extent of the injury, but Adam Schefter led us to believe that he could miss Sunday's game against the Minnesota Vikings. George Kittle said on the postgame show, where ESPN does a lot of stuff live from the stadium, that he expects Christian McCaffrey to play on Sunday against the Vikings. If he doesn't play, it could be a really big deal for the Vikings in trying to stop this offense. Now, Jordan Mason had a career game with 28 carries, which happened to be a high for any Kyle Shanahan running back ever, which is kind of wild to think about, right? But when you look at everything all encompassing, Jordan Mason does not scare you like Christian McCaffrey scares you. The offense scares you more than the player itself. But with Christian McCaffrey, he elevates that offense to a different level. So not having him would be a big deal for the San Francisco 49ers and make things easier for the Vikings defense. Then when you look forward, Green Bay Packers could be without Jordan Love in their Week 4 matchup at Lambeau Field. Initial reporting was that the MCL injury would have him out around 3 to 6 weeks. But some MCL injuries only take 2 weeks to heal. We really don't know the extent of the injury at this point. All we know is that it's the MCL, the medial collateral ligament. Now, he could brace and severely limit his mobility if he's not quite 100%. But I don't know if the Packers would be willing to do that, considering they made him the highest paid quarterback in the National Football League until Dak Prescott signed his mega deal this past weekend. Would it be smart for the Packers to play Jordan Love? It really depends. Do they start 0-3? If they start 0-3, they may have a much bigger reason to play Jordan Love because they want to save their season. Packers have Super Bowl aspirations going into the year, and the Vikings could find a way to ruin them by getting a win at Lambeau Field. They did so last year by a score of 24-10, but then the Packers came and absolutely throttled the Vikings on New Year's Eve. Injuries have played a major factor for the Vikings, but now it seems like it's coming in their favor a little bit. This is Tyler Forness of A to Z Sports. It's called Vikings.